the political scene being on rave at this particular moment, imagine waking up to news of another high-profile defection, another politician leaving their party for the ruling APC. The questions linger: is this about principle or personal gain? What does this mean for Nigeria's democracy? With the recent wave of defections, it has sparked intense debate. Some cite pursuit of power, personal interest, or protection from probes. Others believe that no matter how weighty your sins are, according to a one-time chairman of the APC, moving to the ruling party makes the sinful politician become a saint. Others argue it's freedom of association, while critics warn of a potential one-party state. On one hand, former president said one-party state is very dangerous for the country. On another part, the chairman of the present APC says that a one-party state should not be a problem. It should be welcomed, because at the end of the day, China is a one-party state and is thriving. Today we'll be discussing on the one-party state. Are you worried about it? Our lines will be opened. Make sure you call us on the numbers displayed on your screen, or send us a message, a WhatsApp message, so that we can read out your thoughts. Are you worried about Nigeria's democratic future? Share your thoughts and let us know.
Yeah. You take a look at the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for today. Obviously, we're going to get to it a little later, but the comments of the national chairman of the APC, Professor Abdullahi has come under heavy criticism. You have Ohaneze, Afenifere, NPP, everybody else is speaking, and you alluded to what former President Jonathan said at that event about, this being a bad omen for Nigeria. We cannot all be on the same page politically. It doesn't make sense, because even in the quest for power, there's no way everybody will be on one side. A couple of weeks ago, we had a conversation with the Nasarawa state governor. He says he doesn't believe that that's what's going to happen, even though it's going to be good for the APC, but he doesn't think it's going to happen. Realistically speaking, I don't think it's going to happen, but there are concerns that this phenomenon is being normalized, and it could signal the possibility of that being a reality. I believe we have our regular first caller on the line, calling from the beautiful city of Maiduguri. Shetima Yakudima is joining us this morning. Shetima, good morning.
Good morning, Abdullahi. Good morning, Hauwa.
Good morning, Shetima.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Shetima Yakudima calling from Maiduguri.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. About one party. Well, Abdullahi, let us be sincere to ourselves. This one party cannot happen in Nigeria. Cannot happen in Nigeria. With respect, chairman of the APC, Ganduje, was saying China was the one party. But if China was one party, maybe they have been attracted due to performance of that party that is dominated by China. But if you can ask yourself and say the truth, even Ganduje can testify and can confirm what APC did to Nigerians, that will claim the whole population of Nigeria. This is fake statement, and it will not happen in Nigeria. All these defections that you are seeing, to me, is not a worrisome, and it will not disturb me, because I know that influx that is happening, trooping into APC, they are not doing it for development of Nigeria. They are doing it for themselves. They are doing it for security of themselves. They are doing it for the benefit of the resources that is sharing in the APC, but not for the Nigerians and the development of Nigeria. So if somebody can make a clear statement and say the truth, there is nothing to say about the achievement of the APC by the time they spend all these years in office. What we see is difficulties, hardship, insecurity, lack of education, lack of health facilities. People have been suffering, but they are there dancing that their party is accumulating populations. This population that they are seeing, it will become a disaster in time making. Inshallah, Rabbi, it will become a disaster for them because interest will be accumulated. What they are there for is to share the resources of Nigeria, and that is where the tension will come out. It will break them into pieces. As I'm telling Nigerians, they have to be patient. We have to be one family. If I told you are a banker for change, this is a welcome development. This defection is a welcome development. Where is PDP today? PDP are making mouth. That is a population. It's a party with population of Ghana, the giant in Africa. Blah 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 blah. What happened to them? This is exactly what will happen to APC. I have the opinion and I have the belief that APC will not withstand 2027. Before 2027, interest will scatter APC, whether they like it or not, because they concentrated. It's not for Nigerian, it's not for Nigerian development. It's for their own interest, and that interest will finish them by God's willing. Nobody can betray Nigeria and go free. I am telling you this. We have engaged in a strong prayer, and our prayer has been answered. We are only waiting for time. We are only waiting for time, and time will tell. And this thing we see it clearly. We see it clearly. And these people, they have to get apart. I am telling you this. May Allah wish Nigeria the best. May Allah revive our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shatima. You know, Shatima's rants are always very interesting,
and
to say the least. Yeah. But listen, jokes apart, I think this is what a majority of Nigerians think. I mean, we're not here to pass verdict on the APC.
Absolutely.
But the point he was raising is, listen, if the CPC, for instance, in China, the Communist Party, says we're going to take 400 million people plus out of poverty in 10 years, and they end up doing it, guess what? That's justified. But his point is that, listen, things are obviously not in the right trajectory. So there is no argument to be made about why Nigerians would want to support.
Absolutely, you have no track record of doing good for the everyday Nigerian.
But then again, the question to ask is, are we going to end up dealing with what many consider is going to be the tyranny of the majority? Because you might not have a one-party state, but you could have a majority or ruling party that is in the majority that would pretty much have its way.
Absolutely.
The National Assembly, at the neck, at every other strata that you can think of. If they're in the majority, they will just have their way. So basically, I think in practice is what most people are worried about. Let's go to Adamu State now, in Yola, to be precise, where Bello is standing by. Bello, good morning. Hello, Bello, good morning. Do we still have Bello on the line? Okay. Bello is, let's go to Adamu's neighboring state. And Hauwa's favorite caller is on. Abasekon from Gombe is joining the conversation. Abasekon, good morning. Good morning, Good morning, Abasekon.
This is Abasekon. Good morning, Hauwa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Abasekon from Gombe State.
Good morning.
Sincerely speaking, each time I hear Alhaji, but no, I don't know how to analyze him. Each time I hear him speak, talk, I am flabbergasted. This is a wonderful speaker. He is a wonderful speaker. Last 2 weeks, he said something. He said the influx of all these people going to APC, they shall cause problem in that place. The phenomenon is not just ordinary. They are just going there to cause real problem. And you see it, but the fact remains that Nigerians are highly intelligent. Don't think that we are not intelligent. We are intelligent. Come that time, a lot of things will change. I also want to add here that I watched your program this morning, where Precious, is it Jamie, something like that, I don't know, she anchored a program on Showtime, and she featured one Alhaji, and this Alhaji is a comedian, an actor. I heard all what he said. He said when he failed, he had to go back to the drawing board. And then when he now came out, he was a new person. Okay, look at the former governor of Delta State, who was the number 2 man who was supposed to be the vice president of this country. Look at him. Is this not a shame on this country that we don't have ideology, we don't have policy? Haba. Alhaji Shetima, if I have a way, I'll send you card. Thank you very much. Those people, you are doing wonderfully.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Abasekon, as always. Appreciate you for the compliment and the commendation. Obviously, a big fan of Shetima every other time.
Absolutely.
I've never heard him disagree with what Shetima has to say.
And there was one thing that he made a point out of. He said, it seems like if it is, it's understood that if it doesn't work, you go back to the drawing board. But then it seems like what they're doing is, if this is not working and it seems like it's working for other people, let me jump to the other, train and join the bandwagon. Maybe it will work for me as well. So that seems like what's happening here.
Yeah, exactly. Bashir from Okene joined the conversation. Good morning, Bashir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bashir. Good to have you. How is Okene this morning?
So we thank God we are still breathing since they can remove the subsidy of the air in Nigeria.
Right. We thank God for that. Go ahead, please, Bashir.
I'm not worried about this one-party system. 2027 is going to be about Nigerians. If you take a clue from what happened in 2023, you know that Nigeria has started growing up. Look at our vice president, the PDP vice presidential candidate. He lost his state. PDP could not win Delta State. Tinubu could not win Lagos State. Even Adamu, that is PDP national chairman then, could not win Nasarawa State. That is to tell you it's not all about governor decamping to one-party system. It's going to be about Nigerians. You will see what will happen. I'm even optimistic that let all the 36 governors decamp to APC. I'm an APC man. One of the founding members. I was the state ESCO when we found the APC. But what is happening in Nigeria now is not about a party, it's about Nigerians. Nigerians are hungry. 2027 is going to be about our hungry, about our first bank. Because one of our old men used to tell us that our stomach is our first bank. Look at what is happening. Look at the northwest and the northeast insecurities over the years. We move all the security agency to a levy of a governor decamping. Where Bello TG is civil boasting that is going to force all the residents in Sokoto State, village to flee. They are not ashamed of that. The Ganduje is comparing Nigeria with China. Do you know what is happening in China? If China promised, they will fulfill it. APC has deviated from their ideologies. The manifesto of APC have deviated from it. This is not about they are selfish interest. They are going to learn it in a hard way in 2027. It's going to be about Nigeria. It's not going to be about governor decamping. Let all the governor decamp to APC. You see what will happen, inshallah, by 2027. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bashir. Have a good day. Appreciate you for calling. Listen, let's have your say on this one. He's saying that Nigerians have smelled the coffee, even though I still have reservations about that, because at the end of the day, sometimes we let our emotions override our logical thinking when it comes to voting.
Especially at that critical moment.
And politicians have devised a way to force a lot of people to not think on election day.
Absolutely.
Just go with your, emotional biases, or perhaps let's make it transactional.
Absolutely.
You don't have to vote out of your consciousness.
Absolutely.
Just vote because I paid you for it. And that's just the problem. Let's speak to our next caller, who I believe is calling from Jalingo. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. We're fine, thank you. How is Jalingo this morning?
Jalingo is fine. My name is Hauwa Magaji. I'm calling from Jalingo to
Yahuza, thank you so much for joining Daybreak Interactive. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. On this issue of one-party system that Ganduje was talking about, you see, he is right that China is having a one-party system and they're doing well. But one thing he forgot to tell Nigerians was, what do they do with their corrupt leaders and politicians? if we are able to know what they do with their leaders, then I think we should be boldly come out and tell us what they are doing that is making China great, because they are corrupt politicians, especially those that were caught on camera doing the corrupt act. So I think he should come out and tell us so that we compare what they do. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Hauwa. I appreciate you for the call. Yes, and you know what? You can always make the argument that there's this growing disconnection between the political class and Nigerians generally speaking. You get the sense that sometimes their perspective on the issues that really matter to Nigerians, by the way, insecurity, poverty, the economy, inflation, all the other issues. I mean, they sugarcoat it, they gloss over it in their campaign manifestos and the things that they're saying. They make it look like, we're out of the woods, we're living in nirvana or something like that. But that's not true. And that disconnect, I think, is what some of our callers are speaking to, that at the end of the day, people have felt the impact of their inaction in terms of vetting candidates, for instance, on election day. And platforming is not necessarily going to be the end game. And I think to some extent we've seen that in 2023, not just with the obedient movement, but if you look at how the votes were scattered across these three main candidates, and then the fourth horse in the race, who is Rabi Musa Konkosu, there is that sense that, you know what, Nigerians are going to try to decipher. They always say it's rice and beans, jollof rice, whatever it is. They're not just for just one party, that one party is great. They're going to look for the candidate that will, take them out of, the doldrums. I believe we have a Suleiman from Yola, Hauwa.
Huh?
Suleiman, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program. How is Yola this morning?
Very fine. Yola, we are very fine in Yola.
Good to hear that. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, we are talking about one party system, right?
Yeah.
Yes. No matter what APC do about one party system, they say they are going to copy from China, right? Hello?
Yes, Suleiman, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, they say they are copying from China. China have one party system. So if they can copy from China, the APC national chairman that speak about the China, they are going to copy from China one party system. They can put the plateau now because China, there's no question of China. Anybody that do question, they will kill him. So, hello?
Yeah, Suleiman, we can still hear you.
No matter what they do, in 2027, inshallah, even independent party will defeat APC in 2027, inshallah.
Right.
It's not a party issue.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Suleiman. I appreciate you for calling, and do have a good day ahead. Yeah, I like the last point that he made. He thinks that it's not going to be about political parties, and that was the point we were alluding to earlier.
Exactly.
That at the end of the day, Nigerians are going to cherry pick who is good for me when it comes to my state constituency, who is good for me in my senatorial district, the House of Representatives seat, the governorship seat, and the presidency. And I think we're going to see votes go to different political parties on election day. You have people who are going to go this way when it comes to the presidency, go a particular way. But I do hope that it can be scaled up significantly, because while we do have a politically conscious electorate, there's a significant part of that does not necessarily understand what is at stake on election day. And I think that's a bigger part of the problem.
Absolutely. And the question that I would like to ask is this mass defection opening Nigerians' eyes and making in a way making them turn and look at other political parties and their candidates and see who is more viable? Because at the end of the day, I know in this particular situation that all Nigerians are in, they would think, is this the best option? Are they the best people to do what is right by Nigerians? We're already 2 years in, and if we give them 4 years, how is it going to turn out again?
Do you know a little bit of a history lesson? Back in 2008, the chairman of the PDP, Vincent Obolafo, a lot of people might remember, made a very controversial statement that the PDP was going to be in charge for the next 60 years.
Oh, wow.
60 years. And guess what? 6 years down the line, they lost to the APC in 2015. 6 or 7 years down the line, they lost to the APC. And yeah, politicians are allowed to make these outrageous statements.
Absolutely.
They exaggerate stuff.
But will it come to
pass? That is a typical politician. But at the end of the day, Nigerians will always have their say. And that's why I'm drawing that parallel. Because when Mr. Obolafo made that statement back in 2008, a lot of people, there was a lot of hue and cry. Oh, that means the PDP is going to continue its rigging ways. It's going to continue to dominate other parties. Going to continue to bully other parties. But as fate will have it, 2015 changed the game, and I think APC should perhaps learn from that experience, that not to allow this hubris become, because at the end of the day, you have to look at the data and what Nigerians are saying.
Absolutely. All right, we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, please. Okay, let's just move on to the next caller. I believe we have a set rules of engagement here. Turn down the volume of your TV set so we can have a straightforward conversation. That feedback from the television in your home is not going to allow us to do that. So try and call back again. The number is still there on your TV screen. How will we have another caller?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Hauwa. It's Shetima Kurima back again.
Welcome back again.
Thank you.
All right, what do you have for us?
You see, what Abdullahi was saying is true. The problem we are having is our voters now. We have to reach a certain level. We are more mature than China. We are more mature than any nation that you are think of. But the problem is the maneuver of the political parties. If you say our lawmakers and INEC, they will do justice to us and open room for independent candidates, I am telling you, Abdullahi, these politicians, they will surprise. They will surprise, honestly speaking. Because now in Nigeria, our level have reached to the level that we are not after tribe, we are not after which religion you come from. Are you going to deliver? Are you going to up to the tax? Are you going to do Nigeria better? Are you going to make Nigeria to be to be happy? That's what we're after for. This insecurity we have seen more than enough. And the negligence of government, we have seen more than enough. We have both two political parties without manifestos. We don't know what they are doing. So honestly speaking, if they can do papers for us, if they can do paper to open room for independent candidates, they will surprise, honestly speaking, I'm telling you. We will bring a candidate from nowhere and he will deliver the Nigeria. He will deliver the Nigeria. Because we believe on the prayer of the masses. We have been suffering for so many years now. And we know Almighty Allah was not sleeping. And our prayer have been answered. We have made a hard prayer for a better change. And the better change will come 2027 by God's willing. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Shetima. It's always great when he doubles down to make the point. But then you can understand the passion with which he speaks and his understanding of the situation. Listen, Nigerians have every right to feel triggered by the comments from the APC national chairman. And it is just signaling a bad trend where you've heard from some of the callers who are talking about what is the basis for this defections, right? Yes. You're seeing it happen from Katsina, you're seeing it in Benue, you're seeing it in all the other, from Labour Party to the APC, PDP to the APC, and it doesn't make sense to the constituents who are asking, why is this happening exactly? Let's speak to our next caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Am I right to say this is Tony Eze?
This is Kevin from Onitsha.
Oh, I didn't get it right. Thank you so much. How is Onitsha this morning?
It's very fine.
Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Please go ahead.
Okay. This one-party system is very annoying in Nigeria. So people that are saying that it doesn't matter or one thing or the other, see, vote doesn't count in Nigeria yet. Vote doesn't count in Nigeria yet. So they don't write even the 2027 election, they don't write the result and keep it by the side. That is why everybody jumped into the APC. Every governor just into it because they need this power. Because for me, there's nothing in APC can push a governor to jump for the entire APC. You will not see anything good in APC. Because if you say this APC is doing well, that will motivate you to enter the APC. But only to power grabbers, to go there and grab the power, and then yes, we suffer them. So I believe that God will deliver us from the hand of these all these power grabbers. They are doing nothing, only to go and embezzle our money. You say a place like China, you can't be like China. No work, no job, nothing. But you just after me, you are copy from China. So let us pray for our country, Nigeria. One day God will set us free. Because the vote doesn't count in Nigeria again. Vote doesn't count in Nigeria again. So if you vote today, tomorrow, nobody will cast your vote. So let us God help us. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much for your contribution. We appreciate your thoughts on this one. And it's safe to say that without hearing every other voice, you can tell that this is the prevailing sentiment. Absolutely. That at the end of the day, what Nigerians expect from the leadership, from the political leadership, is a solution to the myriad of challenges that we continue to face. Absolutely. As we did say, insecurity, unemployment, poverty, all of these other indices, they're there. Absolutely. Right? And if politicians pay a lot more attention to addressing the issues than worrying about the next election, maybe we would then begin to think about putting ourselves in the same conversation as China in terms of the output or in terms of the quality of the leadership. But as things stand right now, much is left to be desired from the political elites. I believe we're going to take a couple of messages now from our WhatsApp platform. That's another avenue for you to explore. If you want to articulate your thoughts via SMS, feel free to send in your contribution via WhatsApp so we can have a look at your thoughts on this one. And of course, if you want to call in, the numbers are still on your TV screen. Rules of engagement, again, please ensure that your volume is turned down to the minimum and try and keep your points articulate and concise so that we can allow for a lot more contributions about the concerns, the growing concerns, I might add, about one-party state. That sentiment has been re-echoed most recently by the national chairman of the APC, saying that if that's what Nigerians want, that's what they would get, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, apparently to some of our callers, there's everything wrong with that, but many people think it's not going to happen. I mean, Nigerians, we like our variety, don't we? In terms of options. Absolutely,
absolutely. We like knowing that we have options to pick from. But then are the options good for us? That is another question. You know,
that's another sad thing. I feel like if you're making a case for multi-party systems, you have to beg the question, how vibrant or formidable are the other options? I mean, look at the mess that the PDP is in right now. And then you look at their neighbors, the Labour Party, an even bigger mess. And you ask yourself, like, if this continues, what are the chances that APC looks seemingly organized and that organization might mean that they could present a united front, and if they win everything in 2027? I'm not saying that they will, but if they win, who are you going to blame?
Well, it would be a case of the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. I believe so. And there was a point that was made. Is it due to the fact that these political parties now do not have any ideology, any direction, any manifesto, any belief, except for their own selfish interest?
Maybe an articulated ideology might not necessarily be there for all the political parties, but I do believe that they personally have ideologies, whether it's to take power or something like that.
Well, an ideology, I believe, doesn't necessarily, it shouldn't be a selfish one. It should be of the greater good for servitude. That is what I do believe.
I mean, I quite agree with you on that, but they would argue that, you know, it's a matter of perspective. I think Abasekon has come back for another bite at the cherry. Abasekon, good morning once again.
This is Abasekon from Gombe calling back.
Good morning once again.
Sincerely speaking, Nigerians, this is a wake-up time. We should not demarket ourselves by going for Indomie and 1,000 and 2,000. This is the time we have to arise and let our vote count. We should not demean ourselves by making ourselves so cheap to Indomie, carton of Indomie, 1,000, 2,000, even 5,000, 10,000. Then after the 10,000 and the Indomie, what are you going to eat? After you finish, you exhaust that amount of money. Is it going to take you to December? Is it going to take you to the 4 years, the 10,000? So this is what we actually need to think about. And for Labour Party, my advice is that you won Lagos State, you won Abuja, and several other key places. This is not the time for the presidential candidate to start demarketing Nigeria, reducing the image of this country. This is the time for you to think positively and use words that will, you know, draw attention to you. Thank you, Hauwa, and thank you, Abdullahi.
Thank you so much, Abasekon. I always appreciate it.
Continue to enhance the performance.
Yeah, thank you very much. Amen to that.
Thank you, Nigeria.
I appreciate you for calling back again, Abasekon. We always appreciate a good conversation around rethinking our ways and you know,
and I
re-examining
think you really
the way we practice it.
highlighted a very big problem that, you know, is going on, especially when it comes to that election year, where throughout the course of, you know, the years before that election year, then the everyday Nigerian is placed in a very deplorable condition, whereby when it comes to that time, they will accept and agree to anything, in the sense that they're in hunger, they're in poverty, you know, everything is expensive, and the little nugget that they're being given can sway their opinion to whatever path they want it to be swayed.
There's a lot of and I'm not particularly proud of using the word gullibility, but that is the reality of situation. And we have 80-something million people plus, or is it up to 90 now? I can't remember the last data from the last one before 2023 was 82 million people who have you know, registered voters. I know the number has gone up significantly right now. Before 2027, it could still go up. But a great percentage of that, Hauwa, are people who cannot politically dimension the issues. They don't understand the data. I mean, and more often than not, you can understand because of their predicament. Lack of education, lack of exposure, and all of these things means that they cannot decipher the issues the way they need to and understand them. So they make the activities on election day a transactional one.
Absolutely.
Believe me, some people don't even know that it's a crime to sell your vote.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that is how bad things are.
Yeah, and I think that when someone is in dire hunger, and he's been for a long time, there's nothing else that they would think of but that hunger and how to, you know, alleviate that hunger.
And I think we have a lot of work to do. In the media, the electoral umpire, political parties are primarily responsible for that political education and conscientizing members of the public about their political rights, their expectations, their responsibilities, and how they're supposed to function. But trust me, I doubt if there's any political party that can hold to scrutiny if we are to really do a deep dive on
put them under the microscope.
You know, explaining their responsibilities and what they've been able to do to create that awareness, that voter education that we need to help safeguard and preserve our democratic ways in terms of our practice of governance. We're going to take a couple of WhatsApp messages just to reflect some of these growing sentiments that Nigerians have about the concerns of a one-party state. Ibrahim Ahmed from Yola says, China took 100 million people out of poverty in 10 years. How many people has APC taken out of poverty? China has developed beyond Europe and America, so these old school politicians should just bow out. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Many thanks for that one. Yes, when you draw some of these parallels, sometimes our political elites have a way of comparing apples and oranges when it comes to the negatives or when it comes to the positives rather, and then they forget about all the other metrics.
Absolutely.
That we have. Like I did say, if China can take 400 million plus people out of poverty in 20 years and create this booming manufacturing industry that has become the manufacturing capital of the world, that is something that even Chinese people can defend. And say this is what the CPC has done for us.
Absolutely. We'll take another message. This is from Nandi Bete from Cross River State. Nigerian politics is practiced without principles, the reason why political parties are not formed based on ideology. Here, the interest of the politician overrides national interest. That's why politicians are so mobile, always migrating to platforms where they feel their interests will be protected. But I bet you Nigeria will never be a one-party state. When the time comes, the characters now defecting to APC will be the very ones that will cause an implosion that will destroy that party. And it will lead to the rise of other parties in the polity. And he hammered on it, saying, mark my words.
Yeah, listen, I love the confidence there. And I think even some people in the APC don't believe that we're going to get there. I mean, the current trajectory might not necessarily look good. People are disappointed. They say people who are diametrically opposed to the ideology of the APC are now joining APC, and it doesn't make any sense as to why they're joining APC. All these governors, especially from the South, for instance, who are making, verbal pronouncements about defecting and things like that. And it's like there's no stability. People trusted one particular platform and the candidate on that platform on election day, and that candidate who now became the elected official is now taking away that mandate from that platform and the trust of the people to another platform. That in itself is quite the aberration. But let's go back to our WhatsApp platform now to take a look at other messages that have just come in. Back on our WhatsApp page, let's take a look at the next one to understand the pulse of the people. Mubarak Isa Abubakar from Just had this to say: constituents should have a say in legislators' defection because democracy is based on representation and trust. Defection without justification, I think, violates the trust placed in the legislator. And if constituents are allowed to approve or reject defections, proves that the people's will remain central to governance. And let there be solid room for civil society and media who can hold defectors accountable by exposing their unjustified defections. Right on the money, Mubarak Isa. Thank you so much for sending that thought. And I was just, piggybacking off of a comment like this one to say that, is that what the people want? Because the people have an opportunity every 4 years, or if there's, in some cases, a by-election, to make their choices and to say, we want this person and we want this person because he's on this platform. In fact, it is the platform that is on the ballot on election day. So migrating from one party to the other doesn't seem like a rational and moral thing to do. Especially if you look at our constitutional provisions. But the Constitution has been jettisoned one too many times.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to our next WhatsApp message. This is from Umar Bashir from Ihima. He says, so China is now Nigeria's benchmark for democracy. Nigeria copied America's democracy. It got to APC. They said China is now a benchmark for democracy. If not because the opposition parties are useless, this Ganduje dollar won't be saying rubbish. That is quite harsh. But then at the end of the day, I remember a caller saying that have they checked or have they seen what China does to their, corrupt politicians?
Yeah.
So if they have, then
you can't cherry pick.
Exactly.
If you want to pick, if you want to use China as a model, then pick everything China. Yeah, in terms of their fight against corruption and all of these things. But I think to Umar's point exactly, you don't want China as a democratic model. It's not going to work for us here in Nigeria.
It's not.
One, I think our mentality and the mentality of the Chinese people are greatly different. You look at our cultural belief systems and the way we operate as a people, it is just different. And I think we need to find a way to not just pick the universal concept of democracy.
Tailor something
to the Nigerian context. And I don't think that we're doing that up until this point. But yes, to his point exactly, what we have is an American style type of democracy, a presidential system.
Absolutely.
So I don't know why China is in that conversation. Because in America, they do not have a one-party system.
Yes.
They do not have a one-party state. And yeah, that just shows you that, our politicians will say anything to justify anything that they're saying. And that's quite a very sad turn of events.
Yeah.
I believe we have another message, so let's take a look at the next message. Yes, Mr. Soyombo Tolani, as always, good to hear from you from Ogun State. Sent in this one a couple of minutes ago, and he said, hopefully this program is not to condemn APC about one party in the country. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Wow, okay. I can't wait to read further. He says, as long as the politicians are not forced to join, do you blame the APC when the other parties are highly indisciplined and cannot put their house in order? Ibrahim Traore is running one-man show in Burkina Faso, and he's doing great without any political party. One of your speakers always says, we the people of Nigeria. He should speak for himself. Okay. Sir Botolani, obviously, we can agree to disagree, but I think you're conflating the issues. You cannot bring Traore into a conversation about a democracy. I don't think that works, right? If you're saying the ends justifies the means, that is also just, contradicting the whole idea of democracy, because the idea of democracy is about the people, right? What the people want. And I think why this conversation is happening is because that is the premise the APC national chairman used. He said, if Nigerians want a one-party state, that is what they will get. And that's why we're putting the question to the people to have their say. Exactly. But it's not necessarily about the APC, it's about what is actually happening right now. And APC is a beneficiary of the defection. So I hope we don't, conflate everything. But, let's agree to disagree. I believe we have a caller on the line, Hauwa.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, who are we speaking to? Thank you for joining us.
Hello, yeah. My name is Anthony, speaking from Anambra State.
All right. How is Anambra this morning?
So Anambra is cool, very cool, no problem.
Okay, go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, the problem we have now is all the defeating, everybody entering APC. The problem we have on 2027 is let the INEC do what they're supposed to do. Let the INEC do, we don't want us to say, cyber is this one is not good, this one, no. If they will do normal things, it's okay for us. If they will do what they are put there to do, without any other thing, that the cyber will work, normal is supposed to work, it's okay for us. Now we know that those people that is entering APC, what happened to their own party? Since you are fighting for you want to deliver. Any party you are, even if you don't know name party, people know that you are there, they will vote for you. Now we are run away from that place. So now we know that you can't even deliver, even when you are in that party. So now what we need in 2027 is let the INEC do the normal thing they're supposed to do. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anthony, for making that point. I mean, it might sound off the point, but it's right on the money. Basically saying, listen, allow these politicians to be jumping from here to here. We don't care. Let the process be credible, and Nigerians will decide on election day who they want to put in power. And I think that's a very good point to be made about this issue. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Who's on the line and where are you calling from, please?
I'm from Kaduna. I'm Isa from Kaduna.
Isa, how is Kaduna this morning?
Very fine.
Good to hear from you. Go ahead, please.
I actually, I strongly disagree on one certain party because looking at the
Hello, Isa, are you still there?
I think we lost him.
I think we've lost our connection to Isa. Try again and call back. Unfortunately, we're unable to take the next segment, so we're going to just pull through for the rest of the next 4 to 5 minutes to entertain a couple of more calls and some text messages to double down on this one. I believe another caller has joined the conversation, Hauwa.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program. Who is on the line?
Okay, I'm Tristan. I'm calling from Niger State.
Chisom, good morning. How is Niger this morning?
Niger is fine.
Good.
So, so they are talking about one man party.
One party
One
state, yeah.
system. Okay. My contribution in that is that I don't think it's going to work because those people that are running to those parties, as they are going there now, what are they going there to do? Because during the election, who are they going to bring out from that party? Because people are already there. Who are they going to bring out to represent them? Then number two, like the last election, we suffered here. They vote. After voting, we were there, they counted the vote. And before they vote, like 2 APC people approached me that they will give me, don't know how much they are giving people. 500 naira. 500 naira.
500? Wow.
Yes. 500 naira to vote for APC. Some of my neighbors collected, and those people that collected, I went to them, I told them, look at the way you are sending to vote for peanuts. They say, after all, even if they vote for who they want, they are not going to count it. Their vote is not going to count. I said, at least do your own will. Do it and know that you are going and leave the rest for God, than for you to sell your vote for 500 naira. And before then, they already called some people, gave them spaghetti, one spaghetti. Give them indomie, give them rubbish. In the night, they will fight Jesus. I weep for my country. So all I know that those people entering there, they are going to cause problems there. What is going to happen in this country? We are watching them now. We are watching them. Everything they are doing, we are watching them.
Thank you so much, Chisom.
Contribution.
Thank you so much, Chisom. I appreciate you for calling. Have a good day ahead. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to always hear from the experiences. And we mentioned that point because Anthony from Anambra also said it, that, listen, we only want a credible electoral process. At the end of the day, Nigerians will make up their mind who they want to give power to at any level, presidential, governorship, senatorial, House of Representatives, state assemblies, and so on and so forth. And if we always say who comes to equity must come with clean hands. And I believe Nigerian voters, for the most part, don't have a clean hand.
Yes.
They have compromised. Not all, just to be very clear, not all, but a significant number of Nigerian voters do not have their hands clean. If you go back to the previous 4 elections that we've had, people are open-minded about making it a transactional one.
Yes, and we have to understand and relearn that and change our mindset to know that our votes definitely count. Our votes count. That is why they are being bought. So you have to understand that and make sure you make the right choice for yourself.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for the calls. Thank you so much for the messages. Appreciate you as always for being fantastic. As we did say, we agree to disagree on this one. Thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak Interactive. We're going to take a quick break. We do apologize for our inability to bring you the topical discussion for the day. We'll definitely bring that conversation around the next episode of the program. But